What is up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this Sheffield United preview video on Anfield Agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig. You're very welcome along. There's a load for us to get through on this one, folks. We didn't get the news that we wanted on Jordan Henderson. Initially, it was thought that it would just be 4 or 5 games. Jurgen Klopp today confirmed that it isn't the 12 weeks we'd all feared, but it will be probably around 6 to 8 weeks before we have Jordan Henderson back. So, you know, you're probably talking the run-in, the last part of the season. We're going to have James Milner and Fabinho back training soon. Diogo Jota did resume training on Wednesday. So, you know, there is some good news. We know that Naby Keita is back as well. Ideally, you'd want to be going here and getting 3 points and thinking it's really straightforward, but nothing has been straightforward for the Reds lately, so there is a load for us to get through in this. I will be giving you my predicted 11, my score prediction, all the other stuff as well. Want to say a massive thank you and shout out to our sponsors, BoyleSports, without whom we wouldn't be able to do anything that we do. And with that in mind, I did catch up with Leon from BoyleSports a little bit earlier, and we had a chat around the game, and he gives us his thoughts and of course his little cheeky tip if anybody wants to have a little punt ahead of the game. So without further ado, let me just hand over to our chat with Leon. What's up, everybody? It's that time of the week where I'm joined by my old pal Leon from BoyleSports to have a look ahead to the Reds game this weekend. Leon, we're taking on Sheffield United, bottom of the table. All signs would point to 3 points in a normal season, but I'm afraid to predict anything at this point.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think it's great that we're getting away from Anfield because it just hasn't been our ground since the end of 2020, and certainly in 2021 it's been shocking at Anfield, and I think that's the only word to describe it. Absolutely shocking. We're up against Sheffield United. It's probably a nice team to play, having had a full week off. Hopefully get a few bodies back into the squad, and it's a must-win now. A lot of these games, there's no room for any type of slip-up. We've got to be getting full maximum points here, Craig, because if we don't, we've seriously got no chance of finishing in the top 4. And if we're not in the top 4 next season, that poses a whole different situation in regard to recruitment, in regard to the club moving forward. It's just imperative that Liverpool finish in the top 4 by hook or by crook. We've got to get it. We've got to finish in that spot. And this is a game that we must win. We just have to win. And Sheffield United, they've lost an awful lot of games this season by the odd goal. They've been really, really unlucky in a whole host of matches. And having no crowd has definitely hindered Sheffield United and, of course, Liverpool at Anfield. But Sheffield United last season, Bramall Lane, they got so behind that team. Yes, they were only up from the Championship, so maybe they're a little bit unknown in terms of how they play, in terms of what they bring. But that crowd was their 12th man. So Liverpool away from home, we're 4-9, Craig. It's a very short price. We were the same price to beat Everton, but this is away from home. It's against Sheffield United. And I do think Liverpool will get the 3 points. They have to. They simply have to.
You're right, Leon. Nothing but a win will do. Obviously not great news about Jordan Henderson coming out. You know, we thought maybe 4 or 5 games. That's now looking like 12 games, and his participation in the Euros could be in doubt. Obviously some good news with Fabinho coming back. Milner looks close to return as well. Diogo Jota is back in full training, won't make the weekend, but Naby Keita, a possibility. So there are options for Jurgen Klopp this weekend to shake it up a little bit.
There are options. It's good, as you rightly said. Good to see players coming back, even if they're not fully ready. I think Jota, obviously, a crucial player to get back into the squad. The one thing about Jurgen is he never rushes a player. He gives each and every one of them as much time as they require. Sometimes people say maybe he gives them a little bit too much time, but I disagree with that. I think he's looking after the players' well-being. He's looking after their future. But the likes of Naby Keita, he's got such potential, Craig, and I'd love to see this guy just stop getting injured and just get a run in the side, because there was times when he played for Liverpool, we saw the reason why Jurgen spent big money on him, and he's just got everything. He can go by a player so quickly. He can retrieve the ball. And I think we all know Liverpool's midfield has been lacking that. It's been lacking getting the ball back quickly to set up a counter-attack, to go fast. And Naby, and even if James Milner, we all know what Millie gives you. He gives you 150% every game. And in a type of match like this, without Jordan, he's that type of midfield player that's not afraid to bite. He's not afraid to go into a 50-50. He's not afraid to scream at a teammate. He sets the tempo. And it's going to be interesting to see what Jurgen's first 11 in is. I'm sure everything will depend upon fitness. But as you rightly said, there's players coming back around the squad now, and we're coming into a very, very important time of the season. So it's a must win. I think looking at our front three, they are struggling. They really are struggling. And it looks to me as if they've been found out, if I'm being totally honest. Maybe it's been found out and it's tiredness, because I just look at the three of them and there's not that burst of pace anymore. We're seeing glimpses, but we're not seeing probably they've set the standard so high that we're expecting them to deliver all the time, but it's not humanly possible. And missing Jota for nearly 3 months now, that was a cruel blow, because he certainly put the three of them on their tippy toes. He was there to challenge for a starting place, and he was getting a starting place, and it was putting a bit of pressure on Mo, on Bobby, on Saudio. And you must remember, when Diogo Jota was fit, Liverpool were up the right end of the table, because he was adding to goals and Salah was adding to goals. So he's been a crucial loss to Liverpool. I didn't think he would hit the ground as quick as he did, but like he'd 9 or 10 goals, and he just seemed to slide in to Klopp's way of playing effortlessly. So hopefully Jota can be a key player for the remaining kind of part of this season.
Yeah, it's been a strange one, hasn't it? Because Mo is top of the Premier League scoring chart. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I feel like we could have a little bit more from them. And having Diogo Jota coming back is going to be massive for the guys. It's just riled still a lot of us that it was such a nothing game. Midtjylland, like just such a dead rubber that he was played in.
Yeah, I mean, I think none of us could even comprehend why. It just seemed... I think it baffled a lot of Liverpool fans. It baffled a lot of pundits out there. Even Salah started that game. Like, I mean, look, maybe Jurgen, respect to the competition, whatever, but sometimes you've got to just give your key men a break. And we'd already topped the group, so it wasn't even as if we needed to get even a point from the game. Our position was secure after 5 games, so it was a very strange decision, and ultimately we did pay the price. And as well, Tsimikas. I know Andy Robertson will always be our number 1 left back. But if you look at the minutes and the amount of games Robbo has played over the last 2.5 seasons, it's absolutely off the charts. And there's no doubt even Robbo has looked a little weary. Now, I've no doubt winning, you seem to get over tiredness. You seem to get over fatigue, mental and physical, because you are getting the 3 points. And when you're suffering defeats, and when you've given up the fortress that Anfield was, and I'm sure will be once again once we get our loyal fans back into that stadium and we get our players back from injury. But I just feel now teams are playing Liverpool without that fear. And there's no doubt in my mind that fear factor is crucial, because even before a game starts, teams are worried. They sometimes walking out onto the pitch, you can almost lose a game because it's a full house. Because Liverpool were unbeaten in nearly 70 matches at Anfield, teams knew it was almost impossible to come away with a win. Now sides are coming up against us, and it's a 50-50 game. That fear factor is huge in football, and unfortunately for us, we've lost it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with much of what you've said, Leon. You were saying the Reds are 4-9 to go and to get the victory at Bramall Lane. What is Leon's little tip for us this week? What have you had a look at and think there's a bit of value in for the punters?
I know we kept a clean sheet against Leipzig, but we were quite lucky. We saw the kind of defensive frailties that have been exposed over the last weeks and months. So I just think Liverpool to win, and I think both teams will score. I just see Sheffield United now. The games are also running out for them, Craig. They have to go for the win. If they don't get a win, they know they're relegated. And every game now is a must win for Sheffield United. So I'm hoping it's going to be an open game. I don't think Chris Wilder is going to sit back. I don't think it's in his nature to do that with the predicament they find themselves in at the bottom of the table. They'll need a miracle to stay in the Premier League. But we all said that about Fulham. Now they're only 3 points behind Newcastle because they've got wins. They've got wins on the board. So I'm expecting goals. Liverpool to win, both teams to score. And I think that man again, Mo Salah, as you rightly said, still top of the scoring charts, not playing his best. But if he gets a chance, you think he's going to score over not scoring.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I can't disagree with anything Leon said there, and it's going to be a cracker of a game. I like the Sunday night kickoff time. I'm going to be up for it. The lads should be up for it, and it's a must win for both teams for different reasons. Right, folks, you heard what Leon had to say. I really enjoy these little chats with Leon because, not only is obviously he's somebody from BoyleSports, but he's a massive, massive Liverpool fan, and he is as invested in all of these results as we are. I can promise you that one. But you guys are here to know the predicted score from me and the starting 11. So let me get straight to it, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'll start with the score prediction, and it's difficult. I mean, normally you'd be thinking this would be a handy one for the Reds. We go to Bramall Lane, no crowd inside the stadium, which, has affected a lot of teams, but Sheffield United, with that really raucous crowd behind them, have been fantastic last season in the Premier League. This season for Chris Wilder's men, it hasn't been great. So with that in mind, I've gone for a 2-0 away victory for the Reds. And look, heaven knows what score this could be. Heaven knows what Liverpool are going to show up. But as always, I'm going to try and be optimistic. We did a preview as well during the week where myself, Leon, and Ian Brewster, Rian's dad, spoke about the game. So if you do get a chance, please go and check out some of those clips as well. If we have to concede in this game, which of course I hope that we don't, but if we absolutely had to and still go on to get the 3 points, then I'm sure you'd all wish Rian well if he is to bang one in. But look, we don't want to be conceding. We want to be getting the 3 points. Hence, I've gone for a 2-0 win. And here's my predicted 11. And I'll talk you through it as always and give you my reasoning for the 11 I've gone with. Right, so Kelleher in goal. Look, Alisson isn't ruled out. I don't know if Alisson will play or he won't play. All I can base my thought process on is what I would do in this scenario. Alisson obviously a lot mentally stronger than I am, but with the passing of his father very recently, with the fact that he can't travel back to Brazil, I like to think that he would have time with his family and his wife. And his wife is heavily pregnant as well, so I think the option will be there, and it will be up to the big man what he wants to do. But I've gone for Kelleher. If Alisson plays, brilliant, no problems whatsoever. We'll all get right behind him as we always do. Then for the back four, I want some stability, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. So I've gone for Trent at right back and Robbo at left back. Now, the centre back pairing can be Kabak and Davies. It can be Kabak and it can be Phillips. It can be Davies and Phillips. I don't mind which centre back pairing that Jurgen Klopp goes with. But I would like to see this centre back pairing, whichever one he starts out with, get a run of games together, because we need to try and form an understanding between that back four. Moving on into midfield then, difficult enough decision. I mean, I've gone for Curtis Jones, Gini Wijnaldum and Thiago. Now, I know a lot of people are probably screaming, Keita. I'm with you. I just don't know if he'll be ready to start. If Naby Keita's in that midfield, no problem whatsoever for me. I love the lad. And I have a feeling we might see him come off the bench a bit later in the game just to try and get some minutes into his legs ahead of that really, really massive game at Anfield against Chelsea on Thursday. Then up front, look, we can't really afford to be making any changes here. It's Mane, Firmino and Salah. Jota is back training. Will he be ready to start the game? I sincerely doubt it. Again, Klopp will probably going to have him on the bench, maybe with a view to that game against Chelsea on Thursday. So that's the 11 that I've gone with. There are some changes that you could make in there. I absolutely understand that. Some people may have a different centre-back partnership. Some people may want to see Tsimikas get a chance. I just really feel that now is the time we need to start getting a consistent back four together for the run-in. The last 13 Premier League games. So whoever Klopp goes with, I'd like to see him stick by it, even when Fabinho comes back and is available, because look, again, Gary Neville I think spoke about this perfectly. If we could get Fabinho into midfield and play him in that central defensive role, it would provide a shield ahead of that back four as well. And hopefully then we'd be turning possession over and winning it a little bit further up the pitch, and easier for us to counter attack with the pace of Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. Again, ladies and gentlemen, there will be people who disagree with my predicted 11, and of course I respect that, but please do let me know in the comment section who you'd like to see play this game and what score you think it would be as well. We will of course be doing a watch along here on the channel. Jack Gill, I think it is, will be live with the team news announcement beforehand. Then I'll be coming straight over and doing the watch along and a post-match show as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and let me know what you think about this one. Chris Wilder and the Sheffield United side about it, they kind of have to get 3 points all the way right through till now to the end of the season. So I'm wondering, will they take the shackles off? Will we see a more attacking Sheffield United? Because a draw, it's not really any good to them either. Both sides really need to go out here and get the 3 points. I'd be a fool and a liar if I sat here and said I wasn't shocked to see Sheffield United struggling this season as much as they are. Yes, they did lose Dean Henderson and they have brought in another goalkeeper. Ramsdale isn't really up to the level of Henderson, but other than that, one or two injuries aside, it's pretty much the guts of the team that did so well for Chris Wilder last year. So I'm at a loss as to figure out how they've had such a poor start to the season. I say start, we're 2/3 of the way through the season, but they are where they are, and hopefully we can inflict a little bit more pain and happiness for us and get those 3 points. And after that, I sincerely wish Sheffield United all the best, because Chris Wilder's a proper footballing man. They are a proper footballing club, Sheffield United, that I have nothing but respect for. But I have to predict a Liverpool win, don't I, folks? Because, let's be honest, we need it. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, I'll be back on Sunday for the watch-along. I'll be back tomorrow night with a late-night agenda. As always, thank you to you guys for watching. Have a safe weekend. Take care, and up the Reds.